Mr. Speaker.
I'm right on time. Let's watch it.
Thank you. Please. Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, our First Lady and Second Gentleman, good to see you guys up there. Members of Congress.
Oh, yeah, Joe Biden! He's the best president!
By the way, Chief Justice, I may
Joe
need a court
Biden!
order. She gets to go to the game tomorrow, next week. I have to stay home. Got to work something out here. Members of the Cabinet, leaders of our military, Chief Justice, Associate Justice, and retired Justice of the Supreme Court, and to you, my fellow Americans. You know, I start tonight by congratulating the 118th Congress and the new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy.
It's all one big club. They're all friends with each other. They're all shaking hands. It's one big fucking club. Republican and Democrat, Rhino and Democrat, one big fucking club. They're all the same. And you see that. Kevin McCarthy, the Rhino. Thank you so much.
I don't want to ruin
Joe,
your
and I
reputation, but I
approve
look
this
forward to
message.
working with you.
Boom.
And I want to congratulate the new leader of the House Democrats, the first African-American minority leader in history, Hakeem Jeffries.
Joe Biden's like, look, I want to present this guy. His number one quality is that he's black. That's it. What?
Congratulations.
What is becoming of this empire we have, right? It's just like a declining empire. What the fuck?
And congratulations to Chuck Schumer, another...
Fuck, he's got a fucking Ukraine tie.
Another term is...
Look at him. He's got a fucking Ukraine tie.
You know, I think you...
Mitch McConnell has a fucking Ukraine tie. Is this a joke?
leader.
We're going to rewind
much
this
bigger?
shit. But what the
Well, I
fuck?
tell you what. I want to give special recognition to someone who I think is going to be considered the greatest speaker in the history of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi.
Fuck that bitch. Boo! 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 Women! I'm just kidding. But honestly, fuck Nancy Pelosi. Honestly, fuck Nancy Pelosi.
Folks, the story of America is a story of progress and resilience, of always moving forward, of never, ever giving up. It's a story unique among all nations. We're the only country that has emerged from every crisis we've ever entered stronger than we got into it. Look, folks, that's what we're doing again.
What about 2008,
the economy
dumbass?
is reeling. I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs. More jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years because of you all.
Oh, yeah! Get
Because of the
the
American
jobs!
people.
Woo! Inflation! We're getting jobs whose wages can't even pay for basic primary goods like heat and gas. Woo! Joe Biden! You're such a hero!
And 2 years ago, COVID had shut down. Our businesses were closed. Our schools were robbed of so much. And today, COVID no longer controls our lives. And 2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threats in civil war. And today, though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
Woo! The evidence for that is what exactly? What based on what? We're more politically polarized than ever before. What is this cope? This is cope. Cope Central.
Here tonight, we're writing the next chapter in the great American story, a story of progress and resilience. When world leaders ask me to define America, and they do, believe it or not, I can define it in one word, and I mean this: possibilities. We don't think anything is beyond our capacity. Everything is a possibility. You know, we're often told...
Except
that
solving
Democrats and
Republicans
homelessness on the
can't work
streets of
together.
LA.
But over the past 2 years, we've proved
do
the
that.
cynics and naysayers wrong. Yes,
Everything's
we disagreed
possible,
plenty.
but universal
Yes, there were
health care.
times
That's
when
you can't
Democrats
do that
went
one.
alone. But time and again,
That's not possible. That
Democrats
one was
and
not
Republicans
possible.
Came together to defend a stronger and safer Europe. You came together to pass once in a generation infrastructure law, building bridges connecting our nation and our people. We came together to pass the most significant law ever, helping victims exposed to toxic burn pits. And in fact,
The bird. What does he say? The bird pits or the what? Someone explain that. Someone explain that. I'm not the bird pits.
and in fact,
ET phone home.
I signed
Yo,
over
what?
300 bipartisan pieces of legislation since becoming president. From reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act, the Electoral Count Reform Act, the Respect for Marriage Act that protects the right to marry the person you love, and to my Republican friends, if we could work together the last Congress, there's no reason we can't work together and find consensus on important things in this Congress as well.
Yeah, we can find consensus when it comes to everything that serves Wall Street, everything that fucks over the working man. They'll find consensus, all right. They'll find consensus. Yeah, they'll find consensus. Let's go to war with China. They'll find consensus
but
for
I think
war.
the people sent us a clear message. Fighting for the sake of fighting, power for the sake of power, conflict for the sake of conflict gets us nowhere. That's always been my vision of our country, and I know it's many of yours.
No, we need conflict for the
restore
sake
the
of
soul of this nation, to rebuild
money.
the backbone of America, America's middle class, and to unite the country. We've been sent here to finish the job, in my view. For decades, the middle class has been hollowed out, and now no jobs move overseas. Factories closed down. Once thriving cities and towns that many of you represent became shadows of what they used to be. And along the way, something else we lost: pride, our sense of self-worth. I ran for president to fundamentally change things, to make sure our economy works for everyone, so we can all
too
feel
late on
that
the message.
pride in what we do.
A little too late.
To build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out, not from the top does well, the poor have a ladder up, and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well.
Bernie. Bernie's wearing a mask. What a
I used to say, Joey, and
that's the socialist. Bernie the socialist, quote unquote.
say this. It's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, folks, so let's look at the results. We're not finished yet by any stretch of the imagination, but unemployment rate is at 3.4%, a 50-year low. A near record.
Bullshit jobs! Woo!
A near record unemployment.
Woo! Barista jobs! Starbucks! McDonald's! Woo!
Workers. We've already created, your help, 800,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs, the fastest growth in 40 years.
They're classifying McDonald's as manufacturing now, probably.
Where is it written that America can't lead the
We're
world in
manufacturing
manufacturing? I don't know
cappuccinos!
where that's written.
Woo!
For too many decades, we imported projects and exported jobs. Now, thanks to what you've all done, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs. Folks,
OnlyFans! Woo! The best American jobs!
inflation has been a global problem because the pandemic disrupted our supply chains, and Putin's unfair and brutal war in Ukraine disrupted energy supplies.
It's
as well as
Putin's
food supplies,
fault!
blocking all that grain in
It's
Ukraine.
Putin!
But we're better positioned than any country on earth right now. But we have more to do. But here at home, inflation is coming down. Here at home, gas prices are down $1.50 from their peak. Food inflation is coming down, not fast enough, but coming down. Inflation has fallen.
been coming down for years,
the last
Joe.
6 months.
You're right, Joe.
While take-home pay has gone up.
Been coming down for like 2 years
Additionally,
now.
Over the last
It'll
2
keep
years,
coming down.
a record 10 million Americans applied to start new businesses. 10 million.
Woo! Thank you so much for
By the way,
the
Increase in manufacturing is military industrial
Every
from the
time-
never-ending war in
Oh,
Ukraine.
that's a detail I didn't even think of. So
Every
apparently
time
the
someone
manufacturing
starts a small business
is
an
for
act of
war.
hope.
Didn't know that.
Madam Vice President, I want to thank you for leading that effort to ensure that small businesses have access to capital and the historic laws we enacted that are going to just come into being. Standing here last year, I shared with you a story of American genius and possibilities.
Thanks so much, old man of the
Semiconductors.
woods. Appreciate you.
Small computer chips the size of a fingerprint that power everything from cell phones to automobiles and so much more. These chips were invented in America. Let's get that straight. They were invented in America.
Thanks so much, old man.
We used to
The
make,
average worker works more than one job. We
The
become
world's
job
chips.
creators.
in the last several decades, we lost our edge. We're down to only producing 10%. We all saw what happened during the pandemic when chip factories shut down overseas. Today's automobiles need 3,000 chips, each of those automobiles. But American automobiles couldn't make enough cars because there weren't enough chips. Car prices went up. People got laid off.
Said there's 3,000 chips per automobile. I didn't quite get that.
Can never let that happen again. That's why we came together to pass the Bipartisan Chips and Science Act.
Whoa, yeah, whoa.
Folks, I know I've been criticized for saying this, but I'm not changing my view. We're going to make sure the supply chain for America begins in America. The supply chain begins in America.
Interesting. Huh.
We've already created 800,000 new manufacturing jobs without this law, before the law kicks in. With this new law, we're going to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs across the country. And I mean all across the country, throughout not just the coast, but through the...
It's like a MAGA message. It's hijacking the MAGA messaging.
that have announced more than $3
Is there substance behind it?
billion in investment in American manufacturing over the next few years.
Oh, you're throwing money at
Columbus,
it.
Ohio, Intel is building semiconductor factories on 1,000 acres, literally a field of dreams.
Semiconductors will not renew American industry, though.
7,000 construction jobs, 3,000 jobs in those factories once they're finished. They call them factories. Jobs paying an average of $130,000 a year, and many do not require a college degree.
Which chips jobs? How many of us can get those
Chips
chips
and
jobs?
Science
Thank
Act
you,
is
Chris.
thinly disguised plan to force China into war over Taiwan.
Can
Work together, these jobs where people don't have to leave home to search for opportunity. And it's just getting started.
what?
Think about the new homes, the small businesses, the medium-sized businesses. So much more that's going to be needed to support those 3,000 permanent jobs and the factories that are going to be built.
Did you say 3,000 jobs, Joe?
That's Republicans.
3,000?
What this means for their communities.
That's OnlyFans women make that much money. There's 30,000 OnlyFans women making that money. What are you talking about, Joe?
Infrastructure in the world.
Thank you so much, Black Pack.
Boom
Folks.
change.
As you all know,
3,000?
we used to be number one in the world in infrastructure. We've sunk to 13th in the world. The United States of America, 13th in the world in infrastructure, modern infrastructure. But now we're coming back because we came together and passed the bipartisan infrastructure law, the largest investment in infrastructure since President Eisenhower.
I'm still waiting to see the results. Can't see any results right now. And guys, has your infrastructure gotten better a little bit or no?
Folks,
I haven't noticed anything.
already we've funded over 20,000 projects, including major airports from Boston to Atlanta to Portland. Projects that are going to put thousands of people to work rebuilding our highways, our bridges, our railroads, our tunnels, ports, airports, clean water, high-speed internet, all across America. Urban, rural, tribal. And folks, we're just getting started. We're just getting started. And I mean it sincerely.
There's a lot of words.
I want to thank my Republican friends who voted for the law, and my Republican friends who voted against it as well. But I still get asked to fund the projects in those districts as well. But don't worry.
enough.
I promised
right,
I'd be a
Diogenes.
president for
Thanks
all
so much, man.
Americans.
Hey,
We'll fund these
Diogenes.
projects.
3,000
And I'll see you at the
Honestly,
groundbreaking.
It's not enough.
Look, this law will further unite all of America. Projects like Brent Spence Bridge in Kentucky over the Ohio River, built 60 years ago, badly needed repairs, one of the nation's most congested freight routes, carrying $2 billion worth of freight every single day across the Ohio River. And folks, I've been talking about fixing it for decades, but we're really finally going to get it done. I went there last month with Democrats and Republicans.
Just like the water in Flint, which still isn't fixed.
Of $1.6 billion for this project. And while I was there, I met a young woman named Sarah, who's here tonight. I don't know where Sarah is. Is she up in the box? I don't know. Sarah, how are you? Well, Sarah, for 30 years, I learned, she told me she'd been a proud member of the Iron Workers Local 44, known as the Cowboys in the Sky. The folks who built Cincinnati's skyline. Sarah said she can't wait to be 10 stories above the Ohio River building that new bridge. God bless her. That's pride. And that's what we're also building. We're building back pride. Look, we're also replacing poison.
Adolf Hitler president. It's an Adolf Hitler president.
America. 400,000 school and child care centers. So every child in America can drink the water in the brain. Look.
When has that been fixed? It's still not fixed, dude. Where in Flint it didn't get fixed.
We're making sure that every community in America has access to affordable high-speed internet. No parent should have to drive by McDonald's parking lot to help them do their homework online with their kids, which many thousands were doing across the country. And when we do these projects, and again, I get criticized for this, but I make no excuses for it. We're going to buy American. We're going to buy America. Folks, and it's totally consistent with international trade rules. Buy America has been the law since 1933, but for too long, past administrations, Democrat and Republican, have fought to get around it. Not anymore. Tonight, I'm announcing new standards that require all construction materials used in federal infrastructure projects to be made in America.
They've totally hijacked the MAGA thing. They've completely hijacked the MAGA message.
I mean it.
Quite strange.
Lumber, glass, drywall, fiber optic cable. And on my watch, American roads, bridges, and American highways are going to be made with American products as well. Folks, my economic plan is about investing in places and people that have been forgotten. So many of you listening to me tonight, I know you feel it. So many of you felt like you've just simply been forgotten. Amid the economic upheaval of the past 4 decades, too many people have been left behind and treated like they're invisible. Maybe that's you watching from home. Remember the jobs that went away. You remember them, don't you? The folks
You're like eight years behind in messaging, Joe.
Even exists anymore.
Like 10 years behind with this. You're too late for this message.
Having to move away. Well, that's why I get that. That's why we're building an economy where no one's left behind. Jobs are coming back. Pride is coming back. Because choices we made in the last several years.
Yeah, all you got to do is change the definition and it's coming back. But people aren't feeling it on the ground, Joe.
Blueprint to rebuild America and make a real difference in your lives at home. For example, too many of you lay in bed at night like my dad did, staring at the ceiling, wondering what in God's name happens if your spouse gets cancer or your child gets deadly ill or something happens to you. What are you going to get money to pay for those medical bills? or you're going to have to sell the house or try to get a second mortgage on it. I get it. I get it. With the Inflation Reduction Act that I signed into law, we're taking on powerful interests to bring healthcare costs down so you can sleep better at night with more security.
He's much black
Like
back.
stealing them from
You know,
Europe.
we pay more
Oh.
for prescription drugs than any nation in the world. Let me say it again. We pay more for prescription drugs than any major nation on earth. For example, 1 in 10 Americans has diabetes. Many of you in this chamber do, and in the audience. But every day, millions need insulin to control their diabetes so they can literally stay alive. Insulin's been around for over 100 years. The guy who invented it didn't even patent it because he wanted it to be available for everyone. It cost the drug companies roughly $10 a vial to make that insulin. Packaging and all, you may get up to $13. But Big Pharma has been unfairly charging people hundreds of dollars, $400 to $500 a month, making record profits. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Is YouTube broken for you guys or what?
So many things that we did are only now coming to fruition. We said we were doing this, and we said we passed the law to do it, but people didn't know because the law didn't take effect
fucking
until
time,
January
man.
1 of this year.
Every fucking
We capped
time.
the cost of
Every fucking time,
insulin
man.
at
Every
30
fucking time I go live and there's an event happening, YouTube throttles my fucking stream. Every fucking time.
People are just finding out. I'm sure you're getting the same calls I'm getting. Look, there are millions of other Americans who do not or are not on Medicare, including 200,000 young people with type 1 diabetes and need this insulin to stay alive. Let's finish the job this time. Let's cap the cost of insulin for everybody at $35. Folks, and Big Pharma's still going to do very well, I promise you all. I promise you they're going to do very well. This law also caps and won't even go into effect until 2025. It costs out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors on Medicare at a maximum of $2,000 a year. You don't have to pay more than $2,000 a year, no matter how much your drug costs are. Because you know why? You all know it. Many of you, like many in my family, have cancer. You know the drugs can range from 10, 11, 14,
Dude, Biden, you're so
$15,000
relatable to everyone, dude.
for the
Everyone
cancer
is
drugs.
relating to you so hard.
If drug prices rise faster than inflation, drug companies are going to have to pay Medicare back the difference. We're finally
So relatable, Joe.
the power to negotiate drug prices. Bringing down prescription drug costs doesn't just save seniors money. It cuts the federal deficit by billions of dollars, by hundreds of billions of dollars. Because these prescription drugs are drugs purchased by Medicare to keep their commitment to the seniors.
What?
Well, guess what? Instead of paying $400 or $500 a month, you're paying $15. That's a lot of savings for the federal government. And by the way, why wouldn't we want that? Now, some members here are threatening, and I know it's not an official party position, so I'm going to exaggerate, but threatening to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. As my coach, that's okay. That's fair. As my football coach used to say, lots of luck in your senior year. Make no mistake, if you try anything to raise the cost of prescription drugs, I will veto it. Look, I'm pleased to say that more Americans have health insurance now than ever in history. A record 16 million people are enrolled in the Affordable Care Act. And thanks thanks to the law I signed last year, saving millions or saving $800 a year on their premiums. And by the way, that law was written and the benefit expires in 2025. So my plea.
I feel like this is a fake conflict they're staging. I feel like it's not even real controversy here.
Expand coverage of Medicaid.
It's like a fake conflict to make Biden look good.
Look, the Inflation Reduction Act is also the most significant investment ever in climate change. Ever. Lowering utility bills, creating American jobs, leading the world to a clean energy future. I visited the devastating aftermath of record floods, droughts, storms, and wildfires.
Biden's making America really good. It's so much better.
Border.
He's saving
More
America.
timber has been burned, as I've observed from helicopters, than the entire state of Missouri. And we don't have global warming? Not a problem. In addition to emergency recovery, from Puerto Rico to Florida to Idaho,
He's
we're
saving
rebuilding
our
for the long
country.
term. New electric
America's
grids
getting
that are
so
able to weather
much
major storms and
better.
not prevent those forest fires. Roads and water systems withstand the next big
Biden's like,
flood.
I'm making it a
Clean energy to cut pollution and create
everyone.
jobs in communities
It's
often left
almost
behind.
better everywhere.
We're going to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations installed across the country by tens of thousands of IBW workers. And
Electric vehicles that no one has. Yeah, no one can afford them. No one has them. Yeah, the electric vehicle stations. Biden.
historic conservation efforts.
Oh
from
man,
responsible
Biden,
stewards
you're
of our
such a
land.
hero.
Let's face reality. The climate crisis doesn't care if you're in a red or blue state. It's an existential threat. We have an obligation, not to ourselves, but to our
It doesn't care because it doesn't exist. Whoa! Damn!
America, at last, is stepping up to the challenge. We're still going to need oil and gas for a while. But guess what? No, we do. But there's so much more to do. We got to finish the job. And we pay for these investments in our future by finally making the wealthiest and biggest corporations begin to pay their fair share. Just begin. Look, I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist, but pay your fair share.
Thanks so much,
Asking
PJ.
about how they
I
got
think a
rid of
lot
the
of you
forced
at
breaks in
home,
Cali and
a
what
lot
that
of you
has
at
to
home
do
agree with me
climate
and many
change.
people that you know the tax system is not fair.
He's like, I'm a
It is not
capitalist.
fair.
What does that mean? Why do you have to affirm it like that?
Look, the idea
What do you mean you're a
that in
capitalist?
2020,
Aren't you supposed to be a politician? What are you? You're a business owner or something?
made $40 billion in profits and paid zero in federal taxes? Zero? Folks, it's simply not fair. But now, because of the law I signed, billion-dollar companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. God love them. 15%. That's less than a nurse pays. And I need to be crystal clear. I said at the
Why
very
the fuck does Elizabeth Warren have a crayon on her fucking jacket? What?
will pay an additional penny in taxes. Nobody, not one penny. But let's finish the job. There's more to do. We have to reward work, not just wealth. Pass my proposal for the billionaire minimum tax. You know,
More
there's
taxes.
1,000
That's what everyone
billionaires in
loves.
America. It's up from about 600
Everyone loves
at the
more
beginning of the
taxes.
term. But no billionaire should be paying a lower tax rate than a school teacher or firefighter. I
So
mean,
lower taxes
think
for the
about
school
it.
teacher then. Biden's like, instead of lowering taxes for nurses, I'm just going to raise them for the billionaire. Okay? It's all going to go back to them anyway because the government's owned by billionaires.
I know you aren't enthusiastic about that, but think about it. Think about it. Have you noticed Big Oil just reported its profits, record profits? Last year they made $200 billion.
And I think you should go to the government. So the
I think it's
government
outrageous.
can fucking spend
Why?
money for
They
arms to
invested
give to
too little of that
Zelensky.
profit to increase domestic production.
Big oil's making too much
And
money.
when I
Give it to
talked
me
a
and I'll
couple
give it
of
to
them, they said, We're afraid
Zelensky.
you're going to shut down all the oil wells, all the oil refineries anyway, so why should we invest in them? I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade, and that's going to exceed and beyond that. We're going to need it.
We're gonna.
Production.
That's a Joe Sims moment.
If they had, in fact, invested
just-
in the production to keep
They're
gas
laughing at
prices
him.
down, instead, they used the record profits to buy back their own stock,
Said at least
rewarding the
another.
CEOs and shareholders.
Something went
corporations
off in
ought to
my
do the
head
right
too when he
thing.
said that. I was like, really?
That's why
I think
I
it's gonna
propose
be a little
we
more than a
quadruple the
decade.
tax on corporate stock buybacks and
He
encourage
said at least another decade.
long-term investments.
What?
They'll still make considerable profit. Let's finish the job and close the loopholes that allow very wealthy to avoid paying their taxes. Instead of cutting the number of audits for wealthy taxpayers, I just signed a law to reduce the deficit by $114 billion by cracking down on wealthy tax cheats. That's being fiscally
So I'm
responsible.
going to give you guys some perspective on the deficit. He said he wants to save $100 billion on our deficit, right? Okay, let me show you what our deficit is.
$1.7 trillion, the largest deficit reduction in American history. Under the previous administration, the American deficit went up 4 years in a row. Because those record deficits, no president added more to the national debt in any 4 years than my predecessor. Nearly 25% of the entire national debt that took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone, the last one. They're the facts. Check it out. Check it out. How did Congress respond to that debt? They did the right thing. They lifted the debt ceiling 3 times without preconditions or crisis. They paid American bills to prevent an economic disaster to the country. So tonight I'm asking the Congress to follow suit. Let's commit here tonight to the full faith and credit of the United States of America will never, ever
So the national deficit is $31 trillion, okay?
Republican.
The annual federal budget deficit is over $1 trillion, right? So $100 billion saved. Whoa, thanks, Biden.
All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office.
I've never seen a president disrespected more in their own fucking State of the Union address ever in history. Thank you so much, Craig. We appreciate you.
Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion.
Thank you, Dusty.
You know, it means if
Dusty's
Congress
crack
doesn't keep the programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other Republicans say, I'm not saying it's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant, but it's being proposed by individuals. I'm not politely not naming them,
What
but
a
it's being
pussy,
proposed
dude.
by some of you.
This guy's not a fucking leader. This is pathetic.
Look,
What is this embarrassment, dude? What is this? He's
idea
getting
is
bullied.
that
He's
we're
getting
not gonna
bullied.
we're not going to be moved
He's getting
into
bullied by
being
the
threatened
legislature.
to default on the debt if we don't respond.
He's getting bullied by the legislature. They're bullying him in his own speech. What kind of leader is this? You mean he's going to be the leader of America? What a pathetic leader.
So, folks,
He's getting fucking...
as we all apparently
What a
agree,
bitch, dude. He's getting bitched out.
Social
You
Security
gonna take that,
Medicare
Biden?
is off the books now, right?
You gonna take that, Biden? You're getting bitched out right now, Biden.
All right.
You're getting bitched out, man.
I'm ready. We got unanimity.
What do you say? Probably some Ukraine shit, right?
Social Security and Medicare are a lifeline for millions of seniors. Americans have to pay into them from the very first paycheck they started. So tonight, let's all agree, and we apparently are, let's stand up for seniors.
They're like, as an old person myself, I can get on board with that. And yeah, let's stand up for seniors. Motherfuckers, you are the seniors. What do you mean? This is this is a joke. Guys, let's all clap. We're doing the same shit we've done for decades. Let's clap and congratulate ourselves.
And if anyone tries to cut Medicare, I'll stop them. I'll veto it. And look, I'm not going to allow them to be taken away. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But apparently it's not going to be a problem. Next month, when I offer my fiscal plan, I ask my Republican friends to lay down their plan as well. I really mean it. Let's sit down together and discuss our mutual plans together. Let's do that. I can tell you, the plan I'm going to show you is going to cut the deficit by another $2 trillion. And it won't cut a single bit of Medicare or Social Security. In fact, we're going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund at least 2 decades, because that's going to be the next argument. How do we keep it solvent, right? Well, we'll not raise tax on anyone making under 400 grand, but we'll pay for it the way we talked about tonight, by making sure that the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share. Look. Here's the deal. They aren't just taking advantage of the tax code. They're taking advantage of you, the American consumer. Here's my message to all of you out there. I have your back. We're already preventing
PJ, you got to be careful, dude.
PJ,
really be careful, dude. I appreciate the 5, but come on, man. You can't just fucking say that.
We're protecting.
You don't want my text-to-speech to say that, dude.
Seniors'
Come
life
on.
savings by cracking down on nursing homes that commit fraud, endanger patient safety, prescribe drugs that are not needed. Millions of Americans can now save thousands of dollars because they can finally get a hearing aid over the counter without a prescription. Look, capitalism without competition is not capitalism. It's extortion. It's exploitation. Last year, I cracked down with the help of many of you on foreign shipping companies that were making you pay higher prices for every good coming into the country. I signed a bipartisan bill that cut shipping costs by 90%, helping American farmers, businesses.
Guys, YouTube cut out again, huh?
The job.
Or what? Did YouTube cut out again? Throttling, isn't it?
It's just to strengthen antitrust enforcement and prevent big online platforms from giving their own products an unfair advantage. My administration is also taking on junk fees, those hidden surcharges too many companies use to make you pay more. For example, we're making airlines show you the full ticket price up front, refund your money if your flight is canceled or delayed. We've reduced exorbitant bank overdrafts by saving consumers more than $1 billion a year. We're cutting credit card late fees by 75% from $30
well, I know you guys aren't telling the truth, because I just lost 150 viewers in like 2 minutes. So
junk fees may not matter to the very wealthy, but they matter to most other folks in homes like the one I grew up in, like many of you did. They add up to hundreds of dollars a month. They make it harder for you to pay your bills or afford that family trip. I know how unfair it feels when a company overcharges you and gets away with it. Not anymore. We've written a bill to stop it all. It's called the Junk Fee Prevention Act. We're going to ban surprise resort fees that hotels charge on your bill. Those fees can cost you up to $90 a night at hotels that aren't even resorts. The idea that cable, internet, and cell phone companies can charge you $200 or more if you decide to switch to another provider. Give me a break. We can stop service fees on tickets to concerts and sporting events and make companies disclose all the fees up front. And we'll prohibit airlines from charging $50 round trip for family just to be able to sit together.
Hard, dude. I'm getting really
baggage fees are bad enough. Airlines can't treat your child like a piece of baggage. Americans are tired of being. We're tired of being played for suckers. So pass.
You notice how I go on Rumble and my stream just builds to like 600 viewers, and then when I'm on fucking YouTube, it throttles the shit out of me and makes it unwatchable?
But not anymore. We're beginning to restore the dignity of work. For example, I should have known this, but I didn't until 2 years ago. 30 million workers have to sign non-compete agreements for the jobs they take. 30 million. So a cashier at a burger place can't walk across town and take the same job at another burger place and make a few bucks more. It just changed. But they just changed it because we exposed it. That was part of the deal, guys. Look it up. But not anymore. We're banning those agreements so companies have to compete for workers and pay them what they're worth. And I must tell you, this is bound to get a
It's the
response from my
squad!
friends on my left but the right. I'm so sick and tired of companies breaking the law by preventing workers from organizing. Pass the PRO Act, because businesses have a right, workers have a right to form a union.
He has the fucking audacity to say that, but he made it illegal for railway workers to go on strike? Really?
Let's make sure working parents can afford to raise a
You
family
just
with sick
destroyed the
days.
collective bargaining
Paid family
rights of
medical
fucking
leave.
railway workers. Biden.
Child care. That's going to enable millions of more people to go and stay at work. And let's restore the full child tax credit, which gave tens of millions of parents some breathing room and cut child poverty in half to the lowest level in history. And by the way, when we do
Biden
all
solved child poverty.
increase productivity, we increase economic growth. So let's finish the job and get more families access to affordable, quality housing. Let's get seniors who want to stay in their homes the care they need to do so. Let's give more breathing room to millions of family caregivers looking after their loved ones. Pass my plan so we get seniors and people with disabilities the home care and services they need. And support the workers who are doing God's work. These plans are fully paid for and we can afford to do them. Restoring the dignity of work means making education an affordable ticket to the middle class.
I'll step
You know,
away
when we
Thank you so
from
much,
the
made
screen
PJ.
and
public
find
education,
myself.
12 years of it
Hopefully they
universal
throttle you a little.
in the last
I'll
century.
watch this after the fact.
We made the
Have a
best
good
educated,
Sunday,
best paid.
man.
PJ, don't
we
worry
became
about
the
it,
best
man. Thank
educated,
you. It's
best
just
paid nation
YouTube's
in the
breathing
world.
down my
Dave,
neck, man. That's the
clapping
issue.
The rest of the world's
hands.
caught
Thank you,
up.
Voidburn. Appreciate
Clapping
you.
hands.
Caught up.
Burger. Clapping
Jill,
hands.
my wife, who teaches
Jumps.
full-time,
Make.
has an
Clapping
expression.
hands. Wildcat.
Hope I get it right,
Clapping
kid.
hands. Strikes.
Any nation
Clapping
that
hands. Illegal.
out-educates us is going to outcompete us.
Thank you so much, Voidburn. Thank you
Any
so much,
nation
PJ, too,
out-educates
man.
can
I didn't mean to be
outcompete us.
rude.
Folks, we all know.
I didn't
12
mean to be
years of
rude, man. It's
education
just YouTube. They're so fucking
to win
brutal,
the
you know?
economic competition of 21st century. We want to have the best educated workforce. Let's finish the job by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. Studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school and go on to earn a 2 or 4 year degree, no matter their background they came from. Let's give public school teachers a raise. We're making progress by reducing student debt, increasing Pell Grants for working and middle-class families. Let's finish the job and connect students to career opportunities starting in high school. Provide access to 2 years of community college, the best career training in America, in addition to being a pathway to a 4-year degree. Let's offer every American a path to a good career, whether they go to college or not. And folks, in the midst of the COVID crisis, when schools were closed and we were shutting down everything, let's recognize how far we came in the fight against the pandemic itself. While the virus is not gone, thanks to the resilience of the American people and the ingenuity of medicine, we've broken the COVID grip on us. COVID deaths are down by 90%. We've saved millions of lives and opened up our country. We opened our country back up, and soon we'll end the public health emergency. But that's called a public health emergency. But we'll remember the toll and pain that's never going to go away. More than 1 million Americans lost their lives to COVID. 1 million. Families grieving, children orphaned, empty chairs at the dining room table constantly reminding you that she used to sit there. Remembering them, we remain vigilant. we still need to monitor dozens of variants and support new vaccines and treatments. So Congress needs to fund these efforts and keep America safe. And as we emerge from this crisis stronger, we're also got to double down on prosecuting criminals who stole relief money meant to keep workers and small businesses afloat.
What a fucking pathetic government. What a pathetic excuse for a fucking government.
Before I came to office, you remember, during that campaign, the big
Fucking
issue was
joke.
about inspector generals who would protect taxpayers' dollars who were sidelined. They were fired. Many people said we don't need them. And fraud became rampant. Last year, I told you the watchdogs are back. Since then, we've recovered
Typical
billions
fucking
of taxpayers'
politician.
dollars.
Focus on some
Now
small
let's triple the
bullshit that
anti-fraud
distract
strike
us
force
from the
going
big
after these
issues.
criminals. Double the
there's this
statute of
thing that
limitations
happened
on
with
these
the
crimes
corruption.
and crack down
Get
on
over the
identity
fucking
fraud
revolving
by
door
criminal
issue, dude.
syndicates stealing billions of dollars from the American people. And the data shows
Biden's
that for
whole
every dollar
speech,
we put into
Biden's
fighting
whole
fraud, the
fucking speech
taxpayers
is
get
like,
back at least 10 times
we're
as
gonna
much.
give more
It matters.
money to the
It
government.
Look, COVID left its scars, like the spike in violent crime in 2020, the first year of the pandemic. We have an obligation to make sure all people are safe. Public safety depends on public trust, as all of us know. But too often that trust is violated. Joining us tonight are the parents of Tyree Nichols. Welcome. We had to bury Tyree last week. As many of you personally know, there's no words to describe the heartache or grief of losing a child. But imagine if you lost that child at the hands of the law. Imagine having to worry whether your son or daughter came home from walking down the street, or playing in the park, or just driving a car. Most of us in here have never had to have the talk that brown and black parents have had to have with their children. Bo, Hunter, Ashley, my children. I never had to have the talk with them. I never had to tell them if a police officer pulls you over, turn your interior lights on right away. Don't reach for your license. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Imagine having to worry like that every single time
I'm just
your
gonna
kid got in a car.
I'm just gonna talk really quietly.
Here's what Tyree's mother
I'm gonna
shared
talk
with me
really
when I
quietly.
spoke to
Shut
her.
up, Biden, dude. This is
When I
such
asked her how she
performative
felt.
posturing shit he's doing. It's disgusting. Makes me sick to my stomach.
The faith of God, she said her son was, quote, a beautiful soul, and something good will come of this. Imagine how much courage and character that takes. It's up to us, to all of us. We all want the same thing. Neighborhoods free of violence. Law enforcement who earns the community's trust. Just as every cop, when they pin on that badge in the morning, has a right to be able to go home at night, so does everybody else out there. Our children have a right to come home safely. Equal protection under the law is a covenant we have with each other in America.
Thank you, Black
We
Pack.
And
know
whatever you do, don't smoke crack.
police officers put their lives on the line every single night and day. And we know we ask them in many cases to do too much, to be counselors, social workers, psychologists, responding to drug overdoses, mental health crises, and so much more. In one sense, we ask much too much of them. I know most cops and their families are good, decent, honorable people, the vast majority. But they risk.
Biden, those were Democrat cops in a Democrat-run city.
And they risk their lives every time they put that shield on. But what happened to Tyree in Memphis happens too often. We have to do better. Give law enforcement the real training they need. Hold them to higher standards. Help them
Been
succeed
saying
in
that
keeping
shit
it safe.
for how long?
We also need more first responders.
Been saying
and
that
professionals
same
to address
shit
the growing
for how
mental health,
long, you know?
Substance abuse challenges. More
They say
resources, reduce
it's like an
violent crime,
NPC.
reduce
It's a
crime.
limited dialogue
More
response
community
loop. They've
intervention programs.
everything he said in the
More
speech is
investment in
just
housing,
politician
education,
jibber
and job
jabber.
training.
Jibber jabber.
All this can help prevent violence in the first place. And when police officers or police departments violate the public trust, they must be held accountable. With the support of the families of victims, civil rights groups, and law enforcement, I signed an executive order for all federal officers, banning chokeholds, restricting no-knock warrants, and other key elements of the George Floyd Act. Let's commit ourselves to make the words of Tyler's mom true. Something good must come from this. Something good. And all of us,
American democracy. Laws based on the news.
folks, it's difficult, but it's simple. All of us in this chamber, we need to rise to this moment. We can't turn away. Let's do what we know in our hearts that we need to do. Let's come together to finish the job on police reform. Do something. Do something. That was the plea of parents who lost their children in Uvalde. I met with every one of them. Do something about gun violence. Thank God. Thank God we did. Passing the most sweeping gun safety law in 3 decades. That includes things like that the majority of responsible gun owners already support. Enhanced background checks for 18 to 21 years old. Red flag laws, keeping guns out of the hands of people who are a danger to themselves and others. But we know our work is not done. Joining us tonight is Brandon Say, a 26-year-old hero. Brandon put his college dreams on hold to be at his mom's side. His mom's side when she was dying from cancer. And Brandon now works at the dance studio started by his grandparents. And 2 weeks ago, during the Lunar New Year celebrations, he heard the studio door close. And he saw a man.
What do you mean the Lunar New Year? Isn't it the Chinese New Year? I don't know, man. It's just, okay, the Lunar New Year. What?
And in that instant, he found the courage to act and wrestled a semi-automatic pistol away from the gunman who had already killed 11 people in another dance studio. 11. He saved lives. It's time we do the same. Ban assault weapons now. Ban them now. Once and for all. I led the fight to do that in 1994. And in 10 years, that ban was law and mass shootings went down after we let it expire in the Republican administration.
Government wants to ban guns.
And ban these assault weapons. And let's also come together
What
on
happened?
immigration. Make it a bipartisan issue once again. We
Government wants to ban
we
them.
now have a record number of personnel working to secure the border, arresting 8,000 human smugglers, seizing over 23,000 pounds of fentanyl in just the last several months. We've launched a new border plan last month. Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti,
like
Nicaragua,
Jeff
and Venezuela
Bezos.
has come down 97% as a consequence of that. But American border problems won't be fixed until Congress acts. If we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform, at least pass my plan to
Hey,
provide the
Ron.
equipment and officers
I
to
think
secure
other
the
East
border.
Asian countries call it Lunar New Year, Vietnam, Korea, etc.
and a pathway to citizenship
Thank you, Johnny.
for
They want to
dreamers,
turn America into
those
Canada.
on temporary status, farm workers, essential workers. Here in the People's House, it's our duty to protect all
Biden-
the people's rights and freedoms.
You guys ever notice whenever Biden gives a speech now, he's always like,
Congress must restore the right
that
was taken away in Roe v. Wade and protect Roe v. Wade. Give every woman
Reminds
a
me of
constitutional
that
right.
that priest.
The vice president
Reminds me of
and I
that
are doing
preacher I
everything
saw where he's like,
to protect access
everyone
to
likes
reproductive
saying I just like
healthcare,
money, and I
to
do.
safeguard patient safety.
Can someone find that
Already more than a
preacher?
dozen states are enforcing extreme.
The most corrupt preacher in
Make no mistake about
America.
it.
He
Congress
just straight up
passes a
goes,
national ban, I will veto it.
I make money
But
every
let's
day
also
and
pass.
I do. I like making money every day and I do.
Let's also
What did he
pass the
say?
Bipartisan
Someone find that shit. I
Equality
love
Act
it.
to ensure LGBTQ Americans, especially transgender young people, can live with safety and dignity. Our strength is not just the example of our power, but the power of our example. Let's remember the world's watching. I spoke in this chamber 1 year ago, just days after Vladimir Putin unleashed his brutal attack against Ukraine. A murderous assault, evoking images of death and
Slava
destruction
Zelensky!
Europe suffered in World War II. Putin's invasion has been a test
Putin!
for the ages, test for America,
Yeah!
test for the world. Would we stand for the most
Hunter
basic of
Biden.
principles? Would we stand for sovereignty? We stand for the right of people to live free of tyranny? Will we stand for the defense of democracy?
Slava
For
Zelensky!
such defense matters to us because it keeps peace
Ukrainian
and prevents
democracy, where
open
all
season
opposition
on
parties
movie
are
aggression
banned!
and threatens our prosperity.
All opposition parties banned! Democracy!
1 year later, we know the answer. Yes, we would, and we did. We did.
Too bad, bitch.
And together, we did what America always does at our best. We led. We united NATO. We built a global coalition. We stood against Putin's aggression. We stood with the Ukrainian people. Tonight, we're once again joined by Ukrainian's ambassador to the United States. She represents not her,
What a
just her
fat-
nation, but the courage of her
fat-
people. Ambassador, our
Obese.
ambassador is here. United, we're united in our support of
ate
your
all the
country.
grain.
Will you stand so we can all take a look at you? Thank you.
A big representative from Ukraine. Give it up.
Because we're going to stand with you.
Give it up for the
As long as it
Ukraine's
takes.
biggest representative in America.
Our nation is working for more freedom, more dignity, more peace, not just in Europe, but everywhere. Before I came to office, the story was about how the People's Republic of China was increasing its power and America was failing in the world. Not anymore.
She traded HIMARS
We
for
made
Big
it clear,
Macs.
and I made in my personal
That's why,
conversations
that's why
with
Russia's taking
many, President
Bakhmut.
Xi, that we seek competition, not conflict. But I will make no apologies that we're investing to make America stronger. Investing in American innovation and industries that will define the future that China intends to be dominating. Investing in our alliances and working with our allies to protect advanced technologies
The balloon
so they
won.
will not be used against us.
You
Modernizing
can give
our
all the speeches
military
you want.
to
The balloon
safeguard
won.
stability and deter aggression. Today, we're in the strongest position in decades to compete with China or anyone else in the world. Anyone else in the world. And I'm
And we're going
committed.
to do it eventually. We can't do it now, but we'll do it soon.
I'm committed to work with China where we can advance American interests and benefit the world. But make no mistake about it. As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
You acted by shooting a balloon in the sky off the coast of South Carolina.
Let's
We
be
will
clear.
shoot the balloon
Winning
over
the
South
competition
Carolina.
should unite all of us. We face serious challenges across the world. But in the
China
past 2
threatened our
years,
sovereignty with a
democracies have become
balloon.
Stronger, not weaker. Autocracy has grown weaker, not stronger. Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me one.
Why is he?
America's rallying the world to meet those challenges.
This is the
from
Hitler
climate
speech.
to global health,
Hitler
to food
speech.
insecurity, to terrorism,
Hitler
to territorial
alert.
aggression.
Hitler
Allies are
alert.
stepping up, spending more, and doing more. Look, the bridges we're forming between partners in the Pacific and those in the Atlantic,
This is the Hitler
and
speech
those who
he's
bet
giving.
against America are learning how wrong they are. It's
He's a little
never,
angry.
ever been a good bet to bet against
a little
America.
upset.
Never. Well, when I came to office, most assured that bipartisanship assumed was impossible, but never believed it. That's why a year ago I offered a unity agenda to the nation as I stood here. We made real progress together. We passed a law making it easy for doctors to prescribe effective treatments for opioid addiction. We passed the gun safety law, making historic investments in mental health. We launched the ARPA-H drive for breakthrough in the fights against cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, and so much more. We passed the Heath Robinson PACT Act, named after the late Iraq War veteran whose story about exposure
someone's
to
boyfriend.
toxic
The
burn
ATF
kits
is a
I
domestic
shared here
terrorist
last year.
organization. Biden wants to take your guns and your right to go and strike while provoking war with China. Americans stand up.
I agree. Thanks so much, Black Pack.
Here's Jose Vega when you need him.
I understand something about those burn pits, but there's so much more to do. We can do it together. Joining us tonight is a father named Doug from Newton, New Hampshire. He wrote Jill, my wife, a letter, and me as well, about his courageous daughter, Courtney. A contagious laugh, his sister's best friend, her sister's best friend. He shared the story all too familiar to millions of Americans and many of you in the audience.
Thank you, Terry.
Courtney discovered
The
pills in high
Ukrainian
school
ambassador to the U.S. ate the 70%
It
of arms
spiraled
that
into
don't make
addiction.
it to the front line.
and eventually death from a fentanyl overdose. She was just 20 years old. Describing the last 8 years without her, Doug said, "There's no worse pain." Yet their
Biden's
families
doing is
turned
sickening,
pain to
man.
purpose
He's using people's
working to end
personal
the stigma
grievances
and
for
change
political
laws.
points, and it's
He
disgusting.
told us he wants to
I'll
start
talk more
a
about
journey
it when
toward
it's done.
American recovery.
But I've taken notes.
Doug, we're with you. Fentanyl is killing more than 70,000 Americans a year. Big, you got it.
What did they say? What did
So
they
let's
say?
launch a major surge to stop fentanyl production and the sale and trafficking with more drug detection machines,
they
inspection
say?
cargo, stop pills and powder at the border. Working with couriers
Oh,
like
it's your
FedEx
fault.
to
It
inspect
is,
more
yeah.
packages for drugs. Strong penalties to crack down on fentanyl
Not China's
trafficking.
fault, it's his fault.
Second, let's do more on mental health, especially for our children. When millions of young people are struggling with bullying, violence, trauma, we owe them greater access to mental health care at their schools. We must finally hold social media companies accountable for experimenting they're doing running children for profit. It's time to pass bipartisan legislation to stop big tech from collecting personal data on our kids and teenagers online. Ban targeted advertising to children.
Silicon Valley.
And impose stricter limits on the personal data that companies collect on
The
all.
government's going to war with big tech.
Let's do more to keep this nation's one.
Elon Musk based. Let's go. Anarcho-capitalist, techno-libertarian versus the government.
Job training, job placement for veterans and their spouses as they come to return to civilian life. Helping veterans afford the rent because no one should be homeless in America, especially someone who served the country.
Elon Musk has gone rogue. We got to stop him.
Dennis McDonough is here of the VA. We had a first real discussion when I asked him to take the job. I'm glad he did. We were losing up to 25 veterans a day on suicide. Now we're losing 17 a day to the silent scourge of suicide. 17 veterans a day are committing suicide. More than all the people being killed in the wars. Folks, VA is doing everything it can, including expanding
Then why are you trying to go to war with China to create more veterans?
programs that recruits veterans to help other veterans understand what they're going through, get them the help they need. We got to do more. And fourth, last year, Jill and I reignited the cancer moonshot that I was able to start with President Obama asked me to lead our administration on this issue. Our goal is to cut the cancer death rates at least by 50% in the next 25 years. Turn more cancers from death sentences to treatable diseases. Provide more support for patients and their families. It's personal to so many of us in this audience. Joining us are Morris and Candice, an Irishman and the daughter of immigrants from Panama. They met and fell in love in New York City and got married in the same chapel Jill and I got married in New York City. Kindred spirits. He wrote us a letter about his little daughter, Ava, and I saw her just before I came over. She was just a year old when she was diagnosed with rare kidney disease, cancer. After 26 blood transfusions, 11 rounds of radiation, 8 rounds of chemo, 1 kidney removed, giving a 5% survival rate. He wrote how in the darkest moments he thought, if she goes, I can't stay. Many of you have been through that as well. Jill and I understand that like so many of you. And he read Jill's book describing our family's cancer journey and how we tried to steal moments of joy where we could with Bo. For them, that glimmer of joy was the half smile of their baby girl. It meant everything to them. They never gave up hope. Little Ava never gave up hope. She turns 4 next month. They just found out Ava's beating the odds.
God bless
is on her
them. Never
way to being
denigrate
cured of
any
cancer.
individual story. God bless them. But Biden is using this story for cheap political points, and it's pretty disgusting.
For the lives we can save. For the lives we can save and the lives we've lost, let this be a truly American moment that rallies the country and the world together and proves that we can still do big things. 20 years ago, under the leadership of President Bush and countless advocates and champions, he undertook a bipartisan effort through PEPFAR to transform the global fight against HIV/AIDS. It's been a huge success. He thought big. He thought large. He moved.
These State of the Unions have just become the political class just patting themselves on the back with each other. That's all it's fucking become. They're just like, oh, we're so great, guys. Fuck Bono. Fuck you, Bono. We're so great, guys. We're the political class. We're great. They're just patting themselves on the fucking back, throwing breadcrumbs at the American people, lying to them. Oh, your lives are getting so much better, and nobody's feeling it on the ground.
Everything's possible. Without it, nothing is. For the last few years, our democracy has been threatened and attacked, put at risk, put to the test in this very room on January the 6th. And then just a few months ago, an unhinged big lie assailed and unleashed a political violence, the home of the then Speaker of the House of Representatives, using the very same language the insurrectionists used as they stalked these halls and chanted on January 6th. Here tonight in this chamber is a man who bears the scars of that brutal attack, but is as tough and as strong, as resilient as they get. My friend Paul Pelosi. Paul, stand up.
What? Does YouTube allow you to talk about that story or no? You can't. Can you talk about it on YouTube or no? Because we can't talk about it. All right, we won't talk about it then.
Should have never happened. We must all speak out. There's no place for political violence in America. We have to protect the right to vote, not suppress the fundamental right. Honor the
What about
results.
Antifa, Joe? You gonna talk about that?
We have to uphold the rule of law and restore trust in our institutions of democracy. And we must give hate and extremism in any form no safe harbor.
What about Antifa? What about Antifa?
Democracy must not be a partisan issue. It's an American issue.
It is a partisan issue.
Every generation of Americans.
MAGA! Communism!
Democracy.
Fuck
Defend it,
democracy!
stand up for it.
Thank you,
And this is our
Blackback.
moment. My fellow Americans,
Thank
we
you,
meet tonight at
Blackback.
an inflection point.
Stop. Hammer
One of those
time.
moments that only a few generations ever face, where the direction we now take is going to decide the course of this nation for decades to come. We're not bystanders of history. We're not powerless before the forces that confront us. It's within our power of we, the people. We're facing the test of our time. We have to be the nation we've always been at our best. Optimistic, hopeful, forward-looking. A nation that embraces light over dark, hope over fear, unity over division, stability over chaos. We have to see each other not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. We're good people. The only nation in the world built on an
Except
idea.
the terrorists
The only
who
one.
question certain things.
Other nations are defined by geography, ethnicity. But we're the only nation based on an idea
Fake.
that all of us, every one of us, is created equal in the image of God. A nation that stands as a beacon to the world. A nation in a new age of possibilities. So I've come to fulfill my constitutional obligation to report in the State of the Union. And here's my report. Because the soul of this nation is strong.
Finally. Give us the fucking results, Joe.
This nation is strong. Because the people of this nation are strong. The State of the Union is strong.
It's really fucking not. It's really not. But based on what? Based on what? No, it's not, Joe. Go back to sleep. You're wrong.
I'm not new to this place.
Thanks, Joe, for your opinion, but it's wrong, so go back to sleep.
One of you have ever served here. But I've never been more optimistic about our future, about the future of America. We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America, and there's nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
All right, I know what tweet I'm making. First of all, I'm going to react to this. Joe Biden just gave his biggest Hitler speech yet. Angry Joe Biden. Tweeting it now. All right, it's tweeted. It's been tweeted. That was the biggest Hitler speech yet. Biggest Hitler speech yet from Joe Biden. All right, we're gonna talk about it now, and I'm gonna react to it and give you my thoughts.
And it wasn't the only
So first of all, for all you ordinary people out there, especially this especially goes out to those of you who have jobs, for example. Biden was pretty much telling us that everything's gotten much better in America. Everyone's so much wealthier. There's so much more jobs. There's so much more. Everything's better. Everything's great. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Are there a lot of jobs now, and is life just gotten so much better since he took office on the ground? Go ahead and give us your thoughts, right? Because that's what Biden is telling you about the situation. So I guess if your experience contradicts Joe Biden, that means you're just a brainwashed MAGA aberration, and you're just an exception. You're just alone right now. Everyone else is enjoying this great prosperity and all these great jobs. Biden, oh my God, he's fixing the country. It's recovering. It's getting back. He said inflation is decreasing. I would like to know by what metric it's decreasing. I know the price of gas at the pump has decelerated in terms of spiraling out of control. But what about our heating and gas bills? I don't really see those getting cheaper. I don't see what he's saying reflecting reality. I think what's pretty fucked up is that he went on the State of the Union to tell people America's so great right now, but it's not in actual reality. So he's, instead of actually doing anything substantive, what Biden has actually done is talked. He's talked about, not only he talked about the things he wants to do, but he talks about things he supposedly has done, right? He's lying about achievements. He's not achieved these things. He's lying about them. And then it got me thinking, I mean, this is just a complete fucking shit show, clown show, circus, State of the Union, a bunch of corrupt fucking politicians, completely fucking bought out by the ruling class. And he's getting up on fucking stage on his podium for the State of the Union. And he's reacting to things that are in the news cycle. And media, the media's talking about this, so I gotta talk about this because my ratings will go up and people will vote for me. I gotta go about the ratings, rating. That's what a democracy is. These politicians don't actually fucking care about improving anything or helping the country or helping the people. What they actually care about is aligning their messaging with the ratings and reacting to it in a certain way. Like, oh, this thing was in the news, so we're going to pass a bill based on something that's in the news, right? What happened to Tyree is fucked up, right? But I want you to... This is a classic example of the failure of so-called American democracy. So... what happened to Tyree probably happens all the time, but because it made the news, now we all see, oh my God, what a horrible thing. I'm going to take action by passing legislation. What, to address the symptom and not the disease? You're going to address the symptom of something bubbling up to the surface, getting national attention through the media, but you're not actually going to be able to address the underlying causes. There are many of those, by the way, right? So that's what our politicians fucking do. They just react to news events and then they pass political laws and legislation based on that. Effectively, there's no real objective governance that's going on in this country. We don't have a real government, right? There's no real governance, objective governance, right? It's all based on reacting to the news cycle. And his speech was very emotional. He brought up people from around the country to kind of give this impression that he has an intimate connection. Oh, Biden's getting really touchy with us. He's like, oh, let me touch you. I'm Joe Biden. Let me touch you. Let me go ahead and touch you. Let me touch you. Come on, I'm Joe Biden. Let me touch you. That's what his speech was kind of doing. And it's really fucking creepy, actually, because he's a creep in general. But he's trying to really give emotional, personal, like, I care about you. I care. He's going overboard with that whole fucking shtick, and it's pretty disturbing. Because we all know how inauthentic it is and insincere it is. And if you're going to ask me, Haas, why do you think it's insincere? I think it's insincere because I know the nature of politics. Politics is a ruthless, dirty business, especially in a so-called democracy of competition with partisans. You cannot simply care about people in that way as a politician. A politician has to, if they're an effective one, a leader has to be a stoic kind of strong leader. You don't have this thing where you're pretending and LARPing like you're my fucking nanny or some shit. Joe Biden, you're not my fucking grandpa. I don't know who the fuck you are, right? You're a random person that has been tasked with the job of doing the impersonal, business-like, professional work of serving America. Frankly, this posturing was disgusting to me. Again, every time I watch one of Biden's speeches, I hear about all these crazy accomplishments he's gotten done and all these things he intends to do and the way in which he's trying to draw political lines. And I feel like it's a fraud. He goes, oh, we want to help Americans with insulin and all this kind of... Never actually translates into reality. And then he goes and says, but everyone, see, Biden, these State of the Union speeches are just ways the president tells the people of Congress and this, and the Senate that, and everyone else, I guess, right? All the branches of government basically sits there and tells them, you know what? We're doing great. That's really all it fucking is, right? It's a fucking circle jerk. That's what he does. It's a circle jerk, right? They're there clapping for themselves and we're here. Oh, we will never let any threats to our democracy ever come through again. Woo! I don't agree with that shit. Do you agree with that shit? Do you think democracy is under attack right now by we the people? I don't think it fucking is. I think these politicians are the ones who are undermining the rule by the people, right? So I thought it was just my impression, again, I'm right now kind of doing a deep dive into the novel Three Body Problem. It's a science fiction horror novel. And I'm getting the same impression from watching that speech. Just horror, right? Is this an alien or is this, what is going on, right? It's surreal. It's far more disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. Like, I see this speech and I see something radically inhuman. I see something radically foreign and alien, not just to the country, but just to basic human sensibilities. I just see something that it is impossible to relate to on any fucking level whatsoever, right? So, yeah. That's fucking something. I'll tell you that. Overall, it's a disturbing speech because of how artificially human it is. It's almost like an AI trying to be as relatable and human as possible, but there's a hollow core to that. There's nothing really behind that. It's extremely disturbing. I'm really not a fan of that speech, honestly, honest to God. It's really not. MG, you want to debate me? Go ahead. Get in my Discord. Get in my Discord, MG. You can go ahead and get in my Discord and get in show queue and get in VC. If you want to debate. So, yeah. That was a horror show, kind of State of the Union address. Biden is saying a lot of things. I'm not sure if that actually reflects what people are experiencing on the ground, but time will tell. But it's just disturbing all around. And then Mitch McConnell was sitting there with his fucking Ukraine tie. It's a great time to give a fuck about politics now, isn't it? Now, guys, somewhat unrelated, but I never got to weigh in on this. Right? But something interesting is going on. Right? Something interesting is going on. Oh, yes. Indeed. Oh, yes. Thank you, Chris
Notice
Morlock.
he didn't talk much about Ukraine.
Ata! Adabracadabra! Shinglionis! I can't say it. I'm gonna accidentally say a slur. Expontium! Alright, I can't do this shit. Sorry, I can't do this shit, alright? Listen. Hogwarts Legacy, okay? A video game that came out. It's just stirring a lot of fucking discourse. And everyone's weighing in. Everyone's talking about it. Thank you so much, Amila.
You're an Arab Harry, based.
Now, There's only so much I can say about it on YouTube. But, I feel like this is a case where the stick is getting bent back a little bit too much. I mean, are we going to forget why Harry Potter is so controversial? Well, I'll tell you why Harry Potter is so controversial. Because of the amount of J.K. Rowling disappointed. Let me put it this way. All of the people who are really angry about J.K. Rowling were J.K. Rowling's biggest fans. That was the Harry Potter fandom. That was the people who liked Harry Potter the most. Okay? And we have to pretend that Harry Potter's not cringe. Now, it is fucking cringe. I'm sorry. I can't tell you more, but I'm just saying, I am a male, he, him, and I don't think that is an appropriate game for someone like me, right? I am really considering just downloading the game and playing it. How long does it take to download? Fuck it, let's play it. And then, but only because I just got this idea right now in my head. This is the only reason, I swear. Because I just realized, can you name your own guy? First of all, if I can make my own guy and name him, I wanna make a guy based. Thank you so much, Amila.
Absolutely. It groomed a generation of eunuchs of the Empire.
I can't afford that fucking game. How much is like $80? I can't afford that shit. First of all, but can you name a guy whose name is Harry Asshole? I want to be Harry Asshole in that game. If I can make a guy, if I can customize how he looks, and if I can name him Harry Asshole, maybe we'll play it, right? We may just play it if I can do that. If I'm allowed to do that. Will they let me do that? And then I have more questions. Can you attack students in the game? Can you be in Hogwarts and just cause chaos and havoc? Can you interact with other players in proximity chat? You can? No fucking way. You can do all these things, huh? So you can is there a wanted system where they put you in jail or what? You can beat them. No fucking way. Can you fight or what? You can't. Why are you guys lying? So why are you lying? Why are you lying? You need primo content? Alright, let me see how much it costs. And it shouldn't take long to download, actually. But let me go ahead and see how much it costs. And let me just look at my options here. Alright, Harry Potter. I gotta check how much it costs. Oh boy. Harry Potter. So, if I play it, the deluxe edition is what I have to get. It's $70. Is this game worth $70, guys? Come on. Is it worth $70? This is not a $70 game. Come on. If it was like $20, I would do it. You can refund it. I don't want to even bother. If this was like $20, I'd be like, fuck it, right? I'll do it. But $70 is a little bit too much. Come on. It'll take 24 hours. No, it won't. It'll take a few hours at most. But, yeah. Take a few hours at most. But, thank you so much, Super
Fun
Sarah.
for Harry Ashu.
Okay, if I get this game, we're gonna have to sit and, play it for hours. Alright? And that's what I'm wondering. Can I bear doing that? The only thing that would keep me going is if I could be Harry Asshole. And I kind of just feel like I want to interact with I always wanted to imagine, what if Haas went to Hogwarts? How would I act and what would I do, right? And I'm always wondering, right? what that would look like and how that would play out, but I don't know. Right? So I don't think I'm gonna get it. I don't think I cannot afford that game. It's that simple. Had I not, guys, I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 twice. I got it on my PS5 and I got it on PC. That's all the fucking money I'm spending on video games for a long time. Like, I got 2 Call of Duties, dude, for my PC and my PS5. Can't be just spending money on fucking video games. And Modern Warfare 2 is a great game, by the way. I love that game. That game is so much fun. I love that fucking game. We might play that game tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to say, like, is it... I feel like the game, people are only playing it because the controversy. Is it actually a good game? Because you go on Twitch right now, for example. I checked earlier today. Let me see right now. Checked on Twitch, and it's got about... Let me browse. Oh, it's not that much. It's about 400k viewers, which I guess is a lot. So that's 400k viewers for that game. It must be good, right? Or is it good? I don't know. I don't know. Is that a good game or... You guys gotta chill in my fucking chat. I don't know what the fuck you think this is, but that's a permaban, dude. I'm sorry. You guys are permaban for being retarded in my fucking chat. So, bye-bye. You're gonna have to make a new YouTube account to type in my chat. You guys need to fucking learn not to fuck around and say stupid shit. Fucking chat. Stupid, man. Well, I mean, I don't want to play it. I just feel like that's what everyone's doing right now, honestly. But here's the thing. Is it even good? I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's like the forbidden fruit type of thing where like all these like edgy liberals are like, ooh, I know I shouldn't be playing this game, but I'm going to do the forbidden fruit and it's like, I don't buy it. I don't want anything to do with it. Oh, it's the forbidden fruit. It's like, it's still Harry Potter. You know what I mean? It's a children's novel. It's a children's novel, and it's cringe, dude. Because I can't say much on YouTube, but Harry Potter is not a role model for you. If I had a son, he would not be allowed to watch Harry Potter because that's not someone you can be looking up to. Oh, Dumbledore! Oh, Hermione! Ron Weasley! Hagrid! Hufflepuff! And that's Harry Potter. He's just running around moaning all the time with glasses on and whining. That's all he does. Harry Potter runs around and whines. And he's just, oh no! That's not fair! It's not fair! That's not how I want my son to be raised. I'm sorry. I don't want my kids watching Harry Potter because I don't want them to be learning that that's a way to be conducting oneself. Honestly, it ain't a way to be conducting yourself. I will have my kids... Did you just say... Did you just say... I can't... I can't repeat that shit. Come on. Oh, man. I didn't even think of that one. Oh, man. What? Oh, Paul Potter. Thank you, Jennifer.
You can play the game, but it looks ugly. Neutral face.
You mean Paul Potter? Oh, shit, Jennifer. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. I was very, very distracted, but thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate you so much. Well, Jennifer just bought the game for us, guys. Jennifer, it's up to Jennifer, honestly. You know what? We're gonna take a poll. We're gonna take a poll to see if we should. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll because I am now funded, right? Start a poll. Should I buy Harry? Should I play Harry Zelensky? No, wait. Can I say Harry asshole on YouTube? No, I can't. Harry as... Can I even ask this question? Yes? No. Alright. Let's take a poll. We're going to let it run for a few minutes. So go ahead and vote in the poll. Harry Uranus. That is one way of putting it, indeed. That is indeed one way of putting it. But, I might have to, like, update my, my GeForce, right? So Jennifer bought it for us, guys. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate you. Which means I can officially get it. Should I just get it? $129 votes. All right, it looks like it's pretty much unanimous. Available. Hold on. Will I be able to play it now? Or no? Because how do people play it early access? I don't know. How do you play this? Digital Deluxe Edition. Oh, you have to pre-order it. So I can't even play it? I can't even play it. So you can't play it. How do I play it? What do I do? You have to get the deluxe edition. Okay, will the deluxe edition unlock? Because I have that in my cart, right? And I'm looking in the cart and it says available February 10th. That's the problem. Yeah, it says available on the 10th. So that's what I'm wondering. Like, is that a thing or what? Huh. I'm not sure. I am just not sure. Oh, shit. Jackson's back. Damn. Jackson's been gone for years. Centuries, even. Decades. Right? The pre-release edition. But you had to have pre-ordered it then, right? Oh, it'll let you download. All right. All right. All right. If you guys are lying about this, then... you're getting banned because that's Jennifer's money and you're pretty much wasting Jennifer's time and money. All right, so let's check it out. Install. Oh, you can install it. Oh my God. All right, give me a second. It's going to be a 12-hour install. This cannot be true. Come on. Steam. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. All right, we're downloading it. 12 hours and 9 minutes. It should be faster, actually. Should be faster. All right, well, I never expected me to get this game, but I guess we're getting it. I guess we're getting it. I guess we're getting it. I guess we're getting it, and we are on track, and we are ready. Now, we could be doing a Twitter space, but that's never fun, honestly. That's never fun. Didn't MG want to debate me? Didn't MG want to debate me? Where's he at in the show requests? He wanted to debate me, didn't he? Didn't he? He did, didn't he? He did, didn't he? All right. I need to strongly emphasize to everyone here
Good evening.
how much this country is just unfixable. What the fuck? No, okay. That's beautiful. Streamlabs has crashed. Alright, no, we're good. Didn't crash. Alright. Beautiful. Wish you could turn back time to the good old days.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. Imagine you're Joe Biden and you're required to give a State of the Union address because it's in the Constitution. So if you're Biden, it would take a lot of brass to stand up on live television and claim the U.S. is better off than it was when you took over. Could you do that? Well, in a little more than an hour, Joe Biden will do that. If only it were true. It's not true. This country is more divided, less self-confident, more confused, and sadder than it's been in living memory.
So let me get this straight. Tucker is roasting Joe Biden even before he gives a speech. Based and factual. I just fact-checked that shit and it's true. I just fact-checked that shit and it's a whole lot of factuality. Factual.
For the first time in generations, we face the actual risk of a world war. Our problems are fixable, but they are profound, and they require the full attention of wise and serious leaders who love the country and who are willing to think beyond the next election. Instead, unfortunately, we've got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the cast of mediocrities who stand behind them making the actual
No, Tucker, Kamala Harris is a hero. What are you talking about?
decisions. So if we had to guess, we would guess that Biden is going to use his speech tonight as yet another opportunity to brag about his victories and blame his failures on others. January 6th, Vladimir Putin. We don't expect a single honest word. We hope we're surprised, but we don't expect to be. In the meantime,
Kamala!
Here's as close to we can get as a statistical analysis of the actual State of the Union under Joe Biden. Since his predecessor, Donald Trump, gave his final address to the joint session of the Congress, the cost of food staples in the United States, a pretty good measure, has risen by more than 20%. The price of gasoline has gone up by more than 40%, and diesel even higher. Consumer confidence, meanwhile, is the mirror image. It's dropped by 40%. What's risen is credit card debt. That's now at an all-time high, over $1 trillion cumulatively, it is estimated, and homelessness as well. There are now tens of thousands.
Guys, I have good news. The Hogwarts game is downloading very fast, okay? I'm already at 3% and it just started. But I will warn you, it might actually fuck with the stream. I'm not sure if it will. Let me know if the stream is experiencing performance drops, because if it is, I'm just going to stop the download. Because the stream is more important than the fucking game downloading, okay? So let me know if the stream performance is dropping, okay?
Thousands more Americans living on the streets than there were when Joe Biden became president.
Yeah, it is. I can tell it is. 60 people just dropped off, and YouTube's giving me an error notification. YouTube just gave me a fucking not maintaining enough video. Are you sure? Okay, just let me know.
He'll ignore that fact tonight, guaranteed. What could he say about it? On the other hand, how could he ignore it? But again, he will. Interest rates, meanwhile, have skyrocketed. The number of new home buyers is lower than it's been at any point in modern history. The number of working-age American men who are actually working is now under 68%. Take a look at the graph on your screen. If anything is an emergency, that's an emergency. But it's being ignored. We'll just import new workers. And that's why the southern border of the United States is open tonight, as it has been for 2 years. And because it's open, millions and millions and millions of foreign nationals have streamed across into our country illegally. In many cases, we know nothing about them at all. We can't even imagine how their presence long term will affect our economy.
Dude, oh my God, what the fuck?
My grandfather died a couple days ago. This is some of his inheritance. He was a based communist. He had an MI5 file on him and everything. Use it to buy drinks or whatever you'd like.
Oh my God, Anglo-Eurasian. Thank you so much, man. But Jesus, thank you so much, man. But I'm really sorry to hear that. Sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. And let's all take a moment of silence, honestly. Sorry, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. I feel really honored that you would donate that to me, but I'm really sorry to hear that, man. Rest in peace to your grandfather. I know the stream cut out. Moving like a robot. I told you guys this shit would fucking happen. Holy shit. Okay, ones of you can hear me right now. Ones of you can hear me right now. This is horrible timing, man. Ones of you can hear me right now. Oh my God, it is very far behind. That is crazy. That is very far wow, the stream is extremely far behind. That is just extremely, extremely far behind. Oh my God. Nope, guys, it's very far behind. All right, 5's in the chat if you can hear me right now. It's like 20 years behind, dude. All right, well, we've caught back up. We've caught back up. We've caught back up. But no, I wanted to do a moment of silence. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Let's do a moment of silence, though. Let's actually do it now that you can hear me.
based.
It's what he would have wanted, something small to influence history.
Thank you so much, Anglo Eurasian. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the 10 as well. So guys, we are very far behind. The 5s that just came in, it's incredible. We're extremely far behind. So, yeah, I guess there's nothing I can do about that. We're very far behind.
Or already strained social services, the ones you paid for your entire life. You think healthcare is in shambles now? Go ahead and visit an emergency room in 5 years. Good luck getting treatment.
Yeah, the stream was absolutely decimated by that download. That download, it's like 150 viewers just wiped, right? Completely decimated, unfortunately.
But the real cost to the country is in social cohesion. This is just too many new people. Doesn't matter whether they're good people or bad people, they're strangers. And there are too many of them. There is no chance we could assimilate all of them. And at this point, we have enough problems with our social fabric all on our own. Here's one measure. In March of 2020, 31% of Americans told Gallup that they, quote, worried a great deal about race. When Joe Biden took office, that number went up to nearly 50%. And of course, it's all the administration talks about, race. Race is not a solvable condition. It's genetic. It never changes. So if you focus on it, ultimately you'll make people hate each other. And that's what's happening. That might make you anxious about the future. But of course, our future is education. All of us have heard that since birth in this country. So how are our schools doing under Joe Biden? Well, here's one measure. The national average ACT score in 2022 hit its lowest level in more than 3 decades. SAT scores have gone down too. Now just over 40% of all test takers, 40% meet or exceed standards in reading, writing.
Thank you so much, Sankaras.
Have you heard of the book Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World by Jack Weatherford? You should get this guy on the show.
Sankaras. I have it, right? I have it. I think I've reviewed it before on stream, but I have it. I have this book. I don't recall fond memories of reading the introduction to this and the first few chapters. Let me see. If I open it, I'll figure out where I ended this. Yes, I did not like part 1 of this book, and I didn't read past part 1. But part 1 was just this kind of great man theory of history that gave me the impression that the tone of this book was very immature, and I did not like it at all. But I am now being told, from what I read on Twitter, that the later parts of the book are much better and worth reading. So I'm going to check that out.
And math. Test results in certain cities are even worse. In Baltimore, for example, at least 23 schools have not a single student, not one student in the whole school, proficient in math. So how has the Biden administration responded to this? Are there alarms going off in the education department? No. Schools are just failing to measure the failure. They're getting rid of standardized tests. Up and down the chain.
I didn't like the book because it was kind of like, this brilliant, young, gifted man changed the world. And I didn't really see a kind of world historical narrative about how the Mongols changed the world. I kind of just got this more celebrity expose kind of tone where it's just like, oh, this just by chance, some really brilliant guy was born in Mongolia that changed the world. And I would prefer it to be more like, this is a lost civilization, a lost history, right? Not really a wonderful celebrity story. But I will give it more charity.
Including Harvard.
Because of what you have said and what others have said.
Which just made them optional. The American Bar Association says law students don't even need to take the LSAT anymore because tests are racist.
What? If I don't have to take the bar, I will literally just finish law school. If they start saying you don't have to take the bar anymore, I'll finish law school. Fuck it. Easy decision. The bar will not allow, I'm pretty confident I will not be allowed to take the bar because of the character and fitness thing. And then they're going to look up, they're going to see my political online stuff and they're going to be like, nope, not allowed, right? I'm actually fairly confident that if I go back to law school, they will probably kick me out because of my controversial politics. But I'm not 100% certain about that. I just know a lot of people in law school are very afraid to voice their political opinions because they're scared it's going to kind of get them expelled. So that's one of the reasons I'm scared to go back to law school. I may just actually drop out, like permanently. I may just turn my back on it and be like, fuck it, never again. Do you guys want to know something? The only thing that dissuades me from dropping out is the societal idea. It's the stupid, meaningless prejudice and accreditation system our society has. Like, oh, you dropped out of law school. Just doesn't sound good on for your reputation, right? And it bothers me a lot because that's just because it's not because of law school is piss easy. It's just a waste of time to me, right? But that's the only. It's not like I'm going to stay in law school because I'm going to benefit from it. I'm not. I'm not going to get any jobs relating to that. It's not going to benefit me in any way. I don't plan on being an attorney. I don't plan on doing anything with a law degree. I don't want to be a lawyer in any kind of way. I just wanted to have something to do that wasn't medical or engineering. Now that I found this, it's like I've found the thing I want to do. I want to write books and, be a kind of political theorist, pretty much, right? Or an influencer, whatever you want to call it. So I've found my vocation. I've found my calling. But I just also don't believe in the longevity of the American legal system or this system of like everything's run by lawyers. I'm very much... I watched Biden's State of the Union speech and I'm like, should I go back to law school? Given this, like, that's the most powerful representative of the law in America. And it's a shit show, right? But on the other hand, if I finish law school, oh, I respect you, Haas. I'll go around the world. Oh, he has a law degree. Oh, wow, he has a law degree. And that's a real thing. But I don't believe in it. It's just like, it's just a real thing. And it actually pisses me off that that's a real thing. But, oh, you have a law degree. Oh, you have a degree. You have a degree. I fucking hate that shit. My biggest weakness, guys? My biggest weakness? I do treat everyone equal. I don't care about status. You guys ever notice that about me? No, think about it. Think about it. I am the most egalitarian guy you will ever meet. I literally do not care about status. You can have 2 followers and I will beef with you. You can have 2 followers and I'll beef with you. I don't care about anything relating to status. I am all about principle, skill, and merit and truth. You can have 1 follower and say something profound, and I will give you credit for it. I take everyone seriously. That's my weakness. Everyone says, oh, Haas, it's because you're insecure. I am not insecure. I just don't believe in status, which means, yes, I will respond to everything. I don't care how irrelevant you are. I do not believe in status. I believe we are all equal. I don't hide behind any status. A status to me is, it's as fragile as a city is to Genghis Khan. It can be razed to the ground. All we are what we enter into this world with. And I realize that is what separates me from the rest. There's no other streamer who has my mentality. None. That I can think of. Everyone I talk to, like, Haas, why do you even care about this? I can't help it. I don't believe in status. I can't measure status. I don't fucking believe in it, right? I will hold every human being to account. Even if you're a nobody, I will recognize you. Because I don't believe in status. You know? But the world believes in status. That's the... My problem in life is status. I don't believe in it. And I treat everyone equal. But the world believes in it. And treats me like shit because I don't have a PhD in the subject that I'm talking about. I'm not an accredited professor or something. So that's why no one entertains any of the things I say, right? Even though I am yes, I have made contributions, novel contributions to political theory. I will die on that fucking hill. That I've made novel contributions to political theory. I'll probably never get recognized for it. You want to know the sickest thing of all, guys? Someone will one day probably steal my ideas and get credit for them. Watch my words. I promise you, one day, someone's going to steal my fucking ideas and get all the credit for them. You want to know how I know this shit? Kantbot, Edberg, and Logo did all the fucking work. Thank you so much, Diogenes.
Credentialism is such a disgusting feature of the middle manger midwits. I say this as someone with a master's degree. A degree just means you had money and time.
Yeah, that's my mentality too. I have never ever judged anyone based on their credential, ever. A doctor probably is different. You go to the doctors, yeah, they have to be licensed, but that's only because of the precedent, because there's a reason you have to legally be a doctor, right? So I understand that. I'm not going to go, well, I mean, even then, I might be open-minded. I don't know, but there needs to be precedent, right? But, let me tell you why I believe this. Thank you so much, old man.
I will give you an honorary degree as a leader of the working class.
Thank you so much, old man. Let me tell you something. Logo, Kantbot, and Edberg did all the fucking work when it came to the John Dee stuff and all this Rosicrucianism and esoteric history of Europe. Chapo's doing it now. Guess who's going to get all the credit? Chapo will. Chapo's going to get all the credit for making these connections that Kantbot, Logo, and Edberg and the others did. And that's really how it fucking works. A lot of the ideas you see are stolen ideas, and the original guy never gets credit. And I am guessing, and I don't know exactly how to cope with this. Like, should I accept it or should I be angry about it? Should I be happy that the idea will gain traction, or should I be upset that I was treated so unjustly? But I promise you, one day someone's going to steal all of my fucking ideas and be praised as a fucking genius for it. And I don't want to be so pessimistic, but I just have a strong feeling that's going to be the case. One day, Hakim is going to make a fucking video talking about Mongol modernity or something, and he's going to get praised as a groundbreaking theorist, and everyone's going to, you know what I mean? You want to know how I know this, guys? Because all of the shit libs are now saying the things that Jimmy Dore was saying 2 or 3 years ago. Jimmy Dore will say something, he'll get canceled for it, and then 2 or 3 years later, Cenk and Anna Kasparian will say the same fucking thing and get the credit for it. And that's how the left in America works. It's a whitewashing machine. First, this is what Lenin said, right? In the lifetime of revolutionaries, not saying I'm a revolutionary, but just in general, they're slandered, they're reviled, they're hated by everyone, and then after they pass, or when it starts becoming trendy, then, someone else takes credit for recognizing them. It's just how it fucking works.
So there's a lot of concern, expressed concern about racial justice.
Chapo. Did you just fucking say Chapo is doing the Mongol shit too now? Did you say they're doing that now? Are they actually fucking doing that? You know why it's fucked up when people like me and the other guys, Logo and them, you know why it's fucked up when our shit gets stolen? It's not because we believe in intellectual property. It's because how much we are reviled, especially in my case, slandered and not taken seriously. How badly I'm treated, basically. But then what I do gets stolen. It comes out of someone else's fucking mouth, and then they get called a fucking genius. That's why. If I wasn't so fucking hated and canceled and shit, who would give a fuck, right? But, you know what I mean?
And equity. Has that helped people? Well, it's made a few people very rich. The ladies who run Black Lives Matter have a lot of houses. But how are ordinary people doing? Are they better off for all of it? No. Life expectancy in the United States has continued to decline for all races, black and white Americans. It's now at its lowest level life expectancy in over 25 years.
But I thought Biden said everything's doing well.
Now, that's not just due to COVID. Those numbers have been declining every year for the past 4 years. Suicides up roughly.
Let me see if we can get a fact check of Biden's State of the Union. Let me check this out. Okay. We're going to check out this fact check that some Fox News in West Texas did, apparently. Okay, let's check it out. My administration cut the deficit by more than 1.7 trillion. The deficit did shrink by a record amount in the last 2 years, but his claim is missing important context of attributing this decline to the end of temporary COVID relief spending. What a loser. So, to put it in perspective, this much was spent in 2020 because of COVID. You remember Donald Trump's COVID checks. And then in 2022, this much was spent. So Biden said, I cut the deficit. I cut the deficit. Yeah, because we weren't fucking doing the lockdown shit anymore. Fucking loser. Unemployment. Yeah, well, this needs context, okay? This needs... we're going to look up this context because I don't buy this unemployment shit. Unemployment was also kept down because of the reduction of the size of the labor force. Wait, what? You know how much bullshit this is? This is defining the terms differently. We don't have a low employment rate, unemployment rate. We just don't include people who are not part of the labor force. But the labor force participation rate was lower than prior to the pandemic. So those people that lost their jobs are just out of the job market, and all of a sudden, oh my God, the unemployment rate is lower. Lie. So that should be called false. We created 12 million new jobs. Biden has not created more jobs than in 4 years. Well, the amount of people who are not in the labor force still is higher than before, by the way. Yeah, he wants to ban guns. What a hero. We capped the cost of insulin for seniors on Medicare. But are seniors the only people who need insulin to be cheap? And I'm pretty sure this is like still expensive for insulin, by the way, but okay. So that's it so far. That's fucking crazy. So nobody it really did a fact check from what I saw.
5% that we know of. Overdose deaths up more than 50% since before the pandemic. Alcohol deaths up more than 30%. Now, these aren't so much medical problems as they are famously deaths of despair. And what's jarring is that there doesn't seem to...
Yeah, you know what? Logo has told me about this because he knows what's going on the ground far better than I do. He painted me the same story a few weeks ago. This is a very real thing that's going on. Suicides and overdoses are just going through the roof right now. And I think about that a lot when I stream, by the way, because it makes me realize how much I can make a difference to motivate someone to not give up. And God forbid, how many fucking people get their motivation from watching these streams. That's what motivates me to keep streaming, It really puts things into perspective, guys. And when we start launching this new CPUSA initiative to get on the ground, put in perspective. It's not that people are being communists or being liberals or being conservatives or being whatever. It's that people have given up and have nothing. That's the kind of perspective you get. You got to kind of think outside the discourse and think outside of Twitter. It's not Twitter in real life. Oh, Twitter is a battlefield. All the ideologies are fighting on Twitter, right? In real life, it's not. Real life is just nothing. Right? It's not even that deep as Twitter makes it seem like. In real life, people are just fucking giving up. It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's been bullshit. It's a whole fucking clown show, what you see on Twitter. It's not reality. It's got nothing to do with reality. This is the reality. We have a duty. We have a duty to give people hope. Not to give them an idea, not to convince them of our policy, not to get them to vote for us, to give them hope. That's our duty. To give people good news, because there is good news, and the good news is that a united working class can move mountains. That's the good news. People say, no, Andrew Tate's the problem. Is Andrew Tate the problem, or is this a problem? Andrew Tate is barely making a dent on it. But there's that person out there who's motivated to wake up every day because of what they've learned from Andrew Tate. And they want to take that away? We'll take it away then. But this is the fucking reality. People aren't just out here living. Just a little bit of motivation, it becomes a fucking controversy. Why do you think Andrew Tate's fucking popular, huh? Because this world in America here is not making sense anymore. People don't even want to fucking live with it anymore, let alone entertain the idea that there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Fuck's sake.
Is that there doesn't seem to be an option for many Americans. A lot of people in this country don't think they can be saved. Church membership has just dropped below 50% for the first time ever in the history of this country. So it's a sad, secular country with decreasing reservoirs of hope. And military enlistment is a pretty good measure of how people feel about that. The Pentagon has fallen short of its enlistment targets by 25%. That's more than 15,000 recruits. So what's growing and thriving in this country under Joe Biden? Well, weed dispensaries are. They're popping up everywhere, and the Biden administration is encouraging this. That's the Biden economy. Weed dispensaries backed by private equity. Cannabis sales have exploded in this.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. You know what? Shout out to Tucker Carlson for talking about the real shit. This really puts it into perspective, man. Fuck, man. That's like opium, you know?
Country gone from $12 billion to more than $30 billion a year. So we're building back better. We're building a lot of weed dispensaries. It's not exactly what we were promised. We'll stop the analysis there, but you get the point. The question is, what will Biden say about all of this? Now, an honest man who
He didn't say a damn thing about it.
cared about the country would identify the problems honestly so we could solve them. Take responsibility for some, shift the blame on others. That's okay. But tell us the truth. If people are dying younger, killing themselves, living on the street, if credit card debt is at an all-time high, you can't tell us the State of the Union is strong. And if you can't tell us that, then we can't fix it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube.
That really puts it into perspective. You know, I gotta say, it really does put it into perspective. What a fucking nightmare, man. What a fucking nightmare. All right, guys. Been staying up late, and it's about time to be starting to stream earlier and go to sleep sooner. Now, let me tell you guys something. I have been very frustrated with YouTube's throttling of my streams because it does destroy my momentum, right? YouTube has put a ceiling on my streams because of their fucking throttling. And I want to announce something. Tomorrow, I am going to be uploading a video. And it's going to be a fun one, right? A funny one you can share with your friends, everything. But I don't think I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow until 10:30 p.m. And I am going to be streaming either not at all tomorrow. No, I'll stream tomorrow. I will be streaming tomorrow on Rumble, but not YouTube. I'm going to be streaming on Rumble tomorrow. YouTube is just It's almost impossible to stream here at this point. The throttling is out of fucking control. I have never experienced this before on Twitch. I have only ever on YouTube experienced this incredibly shitty whatever they have set up that just completely lags the fucking stream for everyone, and it's a nightmare, right? And I'm just sick of dealing with it. So I will be streaming probably late tomorrow on Rumble. Yeah, pretty much late. I want to say it will be 10:30. Hopefully earlier than that. And then after that, I'll be doing an early stream on Thursday. And then an early stream on Friday. And then no stream on Saturday. The reason there's not going to be a stream Saturday will be clear to everyone. And it's going to be a surprise. Either Saturday or Sunday. I might stream Saturday night, actually. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But something somewhat exciting is coming up. But, yeah. Alright, guys, anyway. I will see you tomorrow. Good stream. Good stream.